you like me to ask the question again?
It was on a place that I find holy.
Yeah, for want of a better word, some place that has a deeper significance than just a normally would have in the ordinary course of events.
Yeah, it's a good question, especially as you mentioned. I wasn't raised religious, so a lot of my religious experiences, as it were kind of chemically induced, actually.
Yes.
Psychedelics have been a fun and also enlightening activity for me. But in terms of places, physical spaces that I found really a different type of level of spirituality, I mentioned this before, but Maine and the coast of Maine specifically, there's something about that region that feels older to me and wiser than a lot of other places in the States. Part of that, I think, just may have to do with my own ancestry. Scotch-Irish coastlines are similar in Ireland and Scotland to Maine. But I also think that because of the Native American heritage on that coastline, and also just the emptiness of it, it really forces you to sit and think and listen. Especially when the fog comes in and the mist in Maine, I've never really seen light change so quickly. And as somebody who didn't have the traditional kind of religious experience growing up, nature and the elements and storms rolling in for me has always been kind of a connection to something higher.
Well, Thomas Hardy says this, doesn't he? That he says that nature is played out as a scenic thing, but not as a mystery. That there are things in nature that correspond to abstract imaginings, which is what you're talking about, basically.
Yeah, so Maine, also the Grand Canyon, of course. I mean, just it is gargantuan and awe-inspiring to stand on the edge of that. Same thing, I think, with the Native American history there. There just seems there's an older lineage, human lineage there than, especially growing up in the United States, we're used to. I mean, most buildings around me have not been up for more than 50 years. So the notion of holy, I think, has to do with history and with a religious context often, but in my experience, really a natural context.
Yeah, well, as you say, for me, the one of the most sacred holy places I know is Delphi in Greece, which is where the Sibyls, the foretellers of the future, the oracles, used to do that. And this is up above the Gulf of Corinth, and all there really is there is just this enormous slab of stone. But the moment you get there, and you go through where the gates used to be, and on there used to be a column on one side that had engraved on it, "Know thyself," and the column on the other side was engraved, "Nothing in excess."
Wow. And know thyself,
nothing in excess, which is not bad rules. And then you go onto this vast slab of stone, and you just feel a
you're right.
sense of elation.
Yeah, I would like to get there. I'm trying to think. I spoke about it before. In Paris, holiness is not something. I don't feel that. In Notre Dame, for example.
It's a secular city, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I guess in Normandy, the beaches, the landing beaches, it's not holy, but there is history there, a weight of history that I felt is kind of almost palpable when you're standing on those beaches, just to take it in, to look at the expanse and to recognize what a different era that was. I mean,
have you ever been to Ireland?
I've never been to Ireland.
The west coast of Ireland, I mean, what you say about Maine, those cliffs in the County Kerry, those enormous cliffs battered by the Atlantic storms, they are quite extraordinary. They're probably the closest you would find in Europe to the Grand Canyon.
Okay.